M. Night Shyamalan universe. What is it called? The Unbreakable universe?
I guess. Unbreakable, which we talked about last week. And if you really want to get a good sense of what we thought of Unbreakable, be sure to catch our last episode. And then Split came out, and now we are on to Glass. Mm-hmm. So, my opening thoughts of this movie are... I got good news and bad news.
So remember, I missed it because I was getting popcorn.
Okay. Good news, bad news situation with this movie. So the good news, it's in my top 10 movies of 2019.
The bad news, it's...
By the end of the year, it'll be in the bottom 10 movies of 2019. You know where this is going for me.
Yeah.
We're going 10 rounds on this one, Xavier.
That's what you think.
I gotta be honest.
I got the Mike Tyson knockout punches.
Well, we'll see. You haven't been able to go toe to toe with me yet, so we'll see if you can take me on this one.
Well, I've been training.
I really just
time chamber.
I really dislike this movie. I was so disappointed by this movie.
I knew you were gonna get disappointed.
Really? Is it because you watched the preview?
No, because you didn't like Split.
I didn't dislike Split. I just didn't love Split. But I love James McAvoy's character in Split. I thought the problem with Split, and I think we'll talk about this as we go on, is Split's movie is too much focus on the girls. I don't care about the girls. I liked him. He's supposed to be the this villain character, but you spend too much of the movie feeling for him, and then at the end the girl kind of Casey feels for him. It's just yeah. Too
really
long,
weird.
Drawn out, needed more of a hero version to it. So, anyways, to me, if I'm going to sum up this movie, it's truly a January movie. It's long. I think I looked at my watch at least 6 times throughout the movie. What are your opening thoughts?
For me, it's okay. Typical January release. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I just think it's just a movie. Like, it's just... whatever to me.
Whatever. Okay. So
you seem to be under the impression that I love it, but
no.
Knowing my score, it's not I love this movie. I just think
no. This movie, if this movie doesn't, spoiler alert, have a failing score, you failed this movie. All right, you failed to fail this movie.
You failed to make a movie.
So I want to start first about talking about the Overseer, and this is kind of the superhero name of Bruce Willis's character, David Dunn.
That's a lame superhero name.
Yeah, Overwatch is better, right?
No.
Anyways, so the movie begins with David Dunn. He's protecting people. So he spent the last 19 years protecting the people of Philadelphia. And he's gone, we find out, through many names, and the current name is the Overseer. That's what the people of Philadelphia call him. We also find out his son Joseph is working with him as kind of the Overwatch. See what I did there?
That's Batman.
Anyways, the two of them own a security shop. His wife is dead, which
Did you like that or no?
It's so typical. They couldn't bring the actress back.
So she's dead.
So let's kill her. That's it. That's what we're going to do. It's so stereotypical of sequels. You know what? We don't want to bring someone back, we're going to kill them or break them up. We just spent an entire movie trying to bring them back together and fix their relationship.
Yeah, but it's 19 years. You know, people can die.
Okay, fine. I'm not that upset, but it bothered me. You asked me what I thought. That wasn't.
No,
that isn't even on my list of criticisms.
I just wanted to know because I knew you hated it.
It's so
That's
nitpicky.
why I thought it was funny to ask.
Okay, so this is kind of where my first kind of criticism of this movie is going to become. The one key element of Unbreakable that we talk about is David was a sad character. He had a lot of sadness in him. Mm-hmm. And we get explained in this movie the reason he has sadness is he's not doing what he's supposed to do, right? This is what Elijah Glass tells him. Mm-hmm. And then the moment he puts on the persona, the moment he becomes what we now know as the Overseer, and he saves the family, and he goes to see Elijah the next day, Elijah's like, it's gone, isn't it? That unfulfilledness, it's gone. And he's like, yeah, I feel better. We see that in his role, right? He feels better about himself. Yet in this movie, we have the exact same David Dunn we had through Unbreakable. He's unfulfilled, he's sad, he's depressed. But he's doing what he's supposed to do.
Maybe because his wife is dead.
Oh, I'm sorry, but no, I don't buy this. This is the whole point is that he needed to be cured of this this unfulfilled feeling, and now he's got it back. So what was the point of the first movie? That was the main theme of the first movie: getting rid of, finding your calling. That was right there. And the first thing we see in this movie is no. First movie didn't exist. Don't worry about it, guys. He is still depressed. He's still sad, even though he's helping people. Joseph doesn't seem to be sad that his mom's dead.
Yeah, well, everybody deals with loss differently.
Yes,
okay,
whatever.
So
anyway,
people go through hardships in life, and you're just judging the poor.
Anyway,
guy.
I very much. It's probably a little bit of a nitpick in terms of my criticism, but I found it to be a big one because it was one of the main themes, or probably the main theme of David's character in Unbreakable. That was his conflict in the entire movie. Now, we find out that the two of them have been hunting for the Beast, or the Horde, as they've become known, and it's been about 3 weeks since since Split happened, or the events of Split happened, and they've taken 4 more cheerleaders, the Horde. So that leads.
I'm not gonna lie, I love that name for a split personality character, the Horde.
Yeah,
I thought that was a sick
name. That is a very good name.
Yeah.
So the Horde has captured this group of cheerleaders, and David searches the area and sees the Hedwig character of the Horde. And as David touches him, he sees a vision of the cheerleaders. Uses his son to help him find out where the cheerleaders are, and he goes to save them. As he's freeing these girls, the Beast shows up.
Yeah.
Epic fight scene number 1. And both of them are surprised by each other's strength, right? Each one of them think they are the only ones of their kind.
Yeah.
So, what does David do to help make sure all the girls are safe? He throws the Beast out of the 2nd-story window, 13 feet down to the ground. Hard concrete. Remember this. This is important later. So, they're both fine. No problems, no issues, no damages to them. And as they get up, there's a ton of cops around them. They also have a weapon to combat the Horde and get rid of the Beast. You know what I have to say about this?
What?
Questions. So many questions. First, how would the police get there so quickly? How do they know about David's strength? Because the doctor basically says, I know you could take us all, but do you want to hurt people? How do they know how to combat the Horde? If this is because of the twist later on, which you're not going to spoil, why haven't they tried to stop the Beast for the last 3 weeks? If they've known where he has been. None of it makes any sense. Also, were the two waiting? Were these group waiting for these two people to get together? Because if so, it makes them more of a villain. This organization, as we're going to find out, the Black Clover organization.
Are they Black Clover? That's what they're called?
I don't know. They had black clovers.
I thought it was just tattoos. And
they're
they
of clovers.
Green.
They're black though. Anyway, black also villainous color, right? That's what I'm going with here. So
tattoos are always in
so
black.
So all of these questions I have. Do you have any answers to any of these questions?
Well, why the cops got there so fast?
How they got there so quickly?
How they got there so quickly? Because it was daytime. By the end of the time, it's night. When he got there, wasn't it? Wasn't he see him during the day and then he went to...
But how do they know that this is an abandoned area of the city of Philadelphia? How do they know that they're there?
Well, they're probably watching... I'm assuming because they probably have like a hacker watching into David's... Or what's his face? What's his son name? Joseph's computer? Because is it encrypted? Because if it's not...
But again...
If you're doing superhero and stuff and you think you're the only one, you wouldn't know. Would you?
Xavier, I don't think you're making sense here.
What?
Why are they hacking Joseph's computer? How do they know David... Okay, how do they know David has superpowers? 'Cause
there's so many articles about him. But not about David.
But not about David.
But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. But not about David. They're about the overseer.
Overseer, exactly. So how do they know it's David?
I'm assuming, like I would say, like, say if there was if we're doing this, let's say if this is present day, right? Like, if there was a Superman I'm assuming they're using a realistic approach. Like, you could not hide the fact that you were Superman.
So why did they stop him over the last 19 years? Why are they waiting for this moment? As he's about to save 4 girls. You know the PR of that situation.
Well, they're not the government, so they don't really. Are they the government?
Who are you talking about? You talking about the Black Clover Society? We don't know about them yet. We're talking about this scene in the movie.
Oh, the government? Oh, okay. Fair enough then.
None of those questions can be answered. And then we get in with the twist of the movie at the end, which will tell you about this Black Clover organization. They don't really they don't answer these questions. They just leave you with more questions. I can ask more questions based on the Black Clover organization.
We can go get to that after.
Okay. Anyways, so none of it makes any sense. They're captured. They know about the Horde's weakness somehow, which again doesn't make any sense.
Maybe they had, what's it called? They had many experiences. Maybe this isn't the first guy that had multiple personality disorders.
So they get locked up into a mental institution in Philadelphia, which leads me to another question. Why is David being locked up into a mental institution? Is he a criminal? Okay, yes, he's technically a vigilante. He's broken the law. He's not mentally insane. He's not told anyone that he has superpowers. He's not like, you can't lock me up, I am strong. He's not saying that. He goes to jail. In fact, where's his lawyer? And I know that this is a movie, but come on, people. This is basic law. You don't just grab someone. This isn't an arch villain.
Well, because they think people that have superpowers are insane, so they think...
But he doesn't say he has superpowers. He never even admits to the superpowers.
Yeah, but they know he thinks he has superpowers.
No, but not according to the movie.
What do you mean?
They say he doesn't have powers. They try to convince him that he has no powers.
They say he thinks he has powers, though. They think That's why he went to the mentor.
But he doesn't. But
everybody's there.
But he doesn't. But nobody knows that he thinks this. Which is why the twist doesn't work. I just hope you know this. This is why the twist doesn't work. It makes no sense. You're answering all of these questions based on the fact that you know the twist, but it still doesn't work because that means the twist doesn't make any sense.
Well, wait till you have your twist questions.
Okay, I'll come back to this. I have no issues. So we meet Dr. Ellie Staple, and she tells them, or both of them, at different times because they're in different rooms, that David's room is waterproof, so if he ever tries to escape, water will come down.
He'll drown.
And he drowns because she thinks he has a weakness to water. And then Kevin's room, or the Horde's room, has these lights that will just turn him into a different persona. So basically he says, you guys aren't special. You have no superpowers. And we're also reintroduced to Elijah Price, also known as Mr. Glass, who is heavily sedated. Which is, I don't think anyone would believe that he's sedated for even a second. But besides the point. We're also introduced that each of these 3 characters have a connection to the outside world that is a spokesperson for these characters. So we have Elijah, his spokesperson is his mother, who thinks that Elijah's done nothing wrong, that he's a good person, etc., etc. I think this comes into play. Xavier will disagree with me. We have David's connection, which is his son Joseph, who says, you can't hold my son, he's not crazy, etc., etc. Whatever that means.
Shouldn't they... Never mind, I won't say anything.
And then we have Kevin, or the Horde's person, who is Casey, who is the person in the movie Split, who he has tormented, tortured, mentally, maybe not physically.
But he's a good person. Well, Kevin is, not the Horde.
Yet what are her motives? Why is she there for him? Why does she want to help him?
Because the beast didn't hurt her, but he killed her friend.
Yeah, good. Perfect. Yeah, that's it. That makes you're making perfect sense for me, Xavier. Perfect sense. Okay. So, the whole point of bringing these three characters together is that Dr. Staple is trying to convince each one of these three people that they are not special. It doesn't work at all, so she decides to bring all three of them together in the same room, which is the first trailer that you get of all three of them sitting in the same room. I don't understand how this works. Because she starts to convince them, all of them, well, the two of them that are coherent, because Elijah's sedated.
He's all like...
She tries to convince them that they aren't special. And it works. The Beast... No. Those metal bars, I could bend them with a wrench. I could walk on the walls. And then other things as well.
Climbers could walk on the walls if they... I didn't... Obviously...
It makes no sense. And what about... Okay, that explains the events of the... That explains the events of Split, but that doesn't explain the events of the 3 weeks after Split where the Beast has been active. He got shot 3 times. Oh, those weren't real guns. They're old guns. Rubber. They're rubber. You're fine.
He got shot in the chest with a shotgun.
Yeah. And it bounced off him.
Mm-hmm.
Then, she goes to David and says, you know what? You don't have any powers. It's like intuition. You saw this. And she starts to explain the events that we saw earlier in the movie. But let's not forget, it's been 19 years. How is there doubt that he has superpowers? We talk about the car that he ripped open. Well, not the fact
that they just fell out of his 19 story.
13 stories died. Remember that? I told you remember that. Not a scratch on them. Fell off the second story. Fine. The car incident in the first movie where he rips the car open. The fake football injury.
How high was that fall?
Pardon?
How high was that fall? Because they had 0 injuries to them.
I know, that's my whole point, which is why it makes no sense. What about the fact he survived a train crash all by himself? Like, how is there a doubt? And yet he starts to believe, maybe I don't have superpowers. What is going on? We don't know what's going on in these 19 years that he's been active. What other super feats that he's done? Like, this point right here is mind-boggling. And it's such a big part of the movie. Of this convincing. It's like 30 to 45 minutes of this movie of her trying to convince them that they don't have superpowers, and it's working. How?
Listen, I thought, when I watched that part, I didn't think it worked either. I was like, okay, what's going on here?
So what's your thoughts on it then, if it's not working? You're very calm and collective, and I'm losing my mind because it's so stupid. It makes no sense.
I just thought it was funny that the lady's like, what? She's like, you know what? Maybe some people are climbing. I'm like, okay, how do you explain him climbing on there? What? Maybe the Beast doesn't have powers. Maybe I'm just assuming it. I'm like, you split between 13 personalities in there? You guys don't believe in the power? Like, it's weird to me. Or the fact that David, like you said, he's been doing it for 19 years, and he still doesn't think he has a superpower or anything like that. He's like, what? Maybe she's telling the truth. And the reasons are the worst reasons ever. I'm just like, oh, okay.
So you have no justification of this?
No.
Perfect. We're going to move on then. So, after this scene, the mastermind, the master, the brains reemerges. And like everyone knew, Glass is not really sedated. And we find out he's aware of everything. And that night he goes through the files of the Horde. And as he's reading through the files, he's just like, gasp, and drops all the papers all over the floor. And then he goes to talk to the Horde. And he's like, I want to talk to the Beast. Patricia comes in, and he's like, why do you want to talk to the Beast? Do you even believe? And he's like, I believe. I've always believed. And if you let me talk to the Beast, we are all escaping tomorrow night.
Doesn't he say that line where comic books are like the
history of humanity?
History of humanity. He says that speech again.
Yes, he does. So Patricia's like, okay, you can meet the Beast tomorrow. I hope for your sake, you can deliver on your promise. He's like, okay, I can. It's like, what's your name? First name, Mr. Second name, Glass. Okay.
Yeah, that was super lame.
Yeah. A little bit.
I was like, nothing.
So...
And that's even Samuel L. Jackson was delivering that. He can make anything.
I
cool.
know, but he did not make that. He did not make that look cool.
So maybe he's starting to get old. Who knows?
No, I don't think it's. I think it's just such a poorly written movie that even he couldn't save it. So the next morning, they wake up Elijah, and they send him to get lobotomized. So this idea, they can't convince them that if they're not superheroes, they're going to go under this machine that will wipe their memories. Okay. I guess. Sure.
Why did he keep his memories? How did he keep his memories if he got lost?
Well, he didn't. Remember, we're going to find out that he removed the piece that...
Oh, yeah.
Because he's the mastermind and he knows everything that's going on. He's 5 steps ahead of everybody.
And what was the reason why the cameras didn't work? Because his...
we're going to find out he plays with the cameras.
Before that, wasn't the car like... The car did something to the cameras that he said. And I was like, what? That doesn't really make sense.
What? Sorry, you have to explain.
Like, apparently the guy that would come in, what's his face? Who's the name of that?
The guard.
Nurse guy.
I don't know his name, but it's just one of the guards.
Yeah, one of the nurse dudes. I think is Daryl. Like, he'd come in and his car would do something to make the cameras glitch.
No, not make the cameras glitch. He would just take time so he could go in and delete all of the film. And play with the camera. He had time to talk to everyone. That was the idea.
Okay.
So this guy always comes in. His car was old, so he always came in late. And then he talked to people, so he always had like 10 minutes to do his own thing. Change meds, etc., etc.
Yeah, he was out there way longer than 10 minutes, though.
Yeah, absolutely. So, anyways, he gets caught on camera because there's 100 cameras set up just to make sure Glass doesn't do anything. But he's too smart and his brain's too powerful that he... deletes all the cameras, but he arranges so that he gets caught on camera, so they use this machine on him to think they're lobotomized, and then at the next night, the guard that comes in, he slits his throat, and then it shows how he removed the piece at night, and now he goes to see
that was the flashback. That's why that part was pretty confusing. I was like, is that?
Of course, it's confusing. The movie makes no sense. But
I was like, that was the flashback. Oh, okay.
So he goes to see the Beast and tells the Beast the plan. I'm going to take you and David and we're going to this new skyscraper opening in Philadelphia and you're going to fight so the whole world can see that both of you, that superheroes actually exist. Okay. Yay? So he tells David the plan. David's like, nope, I'm not really a superhero. I can't really do anything, so I'm just going to stay here. And Elijah's like, okay, well, I turned off the water. There's only one way out there through that steel plate door. If you want to get out, we know you can do it. And then that was it. David sits on his bed and mopes for the rest of the night. Does that sound about right still?
Yeah.
Okay. So, then we have the fight outside the hospital. So, Glass escapes with the Horde. And they apparently go the wrong way and they get caught. So as they're trying to escape and for some reason the Horde grabs 2 of the nurses to do something with them. Again, I don't really understand that.
Did they grab the 2 nurses?
Yeah, remember he throws them in the back of the...
Oh, because I guess he's like...
Back of the truck.
Yeah, that was weird.
Of course it's weird. The whole movie's weird. So... As they're fighting all these guards and the Beast is doing his thing and Elijah's just watching, smiling, David arrives and they fight. Epic scene number 2. Fight between the 2 of them. But as they're fighting and the 3 people, those 3 connections to the outside world and the doctor all arrive together at the front. And Joseph, the son, he runs and is like, wait a minute, Beast! Hold on before you do anything. I have news. And the Beast listens. And basically, what happened to the Beast's father, or Kevin's father, the original personality, is he was on the train at the beginning of Unbreakable.
Yeah.
And that Glass, Elijah, killed his father. And
terrorism.
Well, oh boy. So what does the Beast do? He punches glass, and it's going to be a fatal blow that will eventually kill him, slowly. And then the fight continues between David and the Beast. They get thrown into a pool of water. David takes a gulp in, and he pretty much out of commission at this point. And the Beast is going to the skyscraper. But on the way, Casey grabs him. And is like, I want Kevin. Bring Kevin out. Kevin comes out because it worked. That's the only reason Casey's in this movie, to make this one grab. And then a sniper shoots Kevin, killing him. And the SWAT guy goes to drown David into a pool of water. But just before, the doctor tells David to grab her hand, and we see this surveillance video of this group, which I'm going to call the Black Clover Group, Society, whatever.
Black Clover, man.
Because they all have black clovers on their hand. And this group is deciding they're going to kill all the supers. That their job is to get rid of anyone who's a superhero, whether they're good or bad.
Not superhero, just anyone that's all the metahumans.
Sorry, metahumans, whatever you want to call it. They wanted to kill them all.
Don't
good,
sue us,
bad.
DC.
Elijah's mom basically asked Elijah, "I thought this was the limited edition story," and Elijah's like, "No, it was an origin story," and he dies. And you think the movie's over, but no, it's not. Because we have a new hero. The origin story is Elijah. Elijah is the true hero of this movie. Maybe not the hero. Maybe I'm going a little bit too far in this. But it's definitely his redemption story.
I don't know if it would be redemption.
Oh, 100%. And I'll go over it, and you can feel free to criticize all you want. But it's important that we understand this. Actually, I'll ask you this question. Who is the unquestionable villain in this movie?
I wouldn't say the Black Cloverfield's the villain. I'd say they're more the antagonist than the villain.
Okay, well, let's talk about this then, because you think it's. I think unquestionably that Dr. Staple and the Black Clover Society are the villains. Unquestionable, no doubt. It's not even out to grabs. And
So you think what they're doing is evil?
Of course, it's evil. They're killing people.
So does David.
Okay, I don't understand your point.
So David's considered a hero,
David
right?
kills bad people.
They're more. I feel like their killing's more based on like a logical, because what their
Okay.
argument is, if you have superpowered beings, it's always.
Well, let's explain to our listeners why he's a hero first.
Right.
So basically, Ellie goes back to this group and says, "Don't worry, guys. There will be no backlash. We took care of everything. Everything's good. You have nothing to worry about." But when she goes to a comic book shop, she overhears two kids talking about the mastermind villain and how they're making you look one way when they're really doing another thing. And then she gets this, like a light goes off. Oh my God. Elijah didn't get caught by accident. He got caught on purpose. So everyone would be watching the video. So she goes back to the hospital and realizes the video's been tampered with and been uploaded. Well, Elijah sent the hacked video of everything that happened to all three of those connections. His mother, to Joseph, and to Casey. And the three of them put the video to the world. And the movie ends with the three of them sitting there watching the video go public on news channels. So this leads me to my number one criticism of this movie. That Elijah is a hero, and if not a hero, at the very least, is a redemption story. And I want you to think about this. All three of them are criminals. There's no doubt. You can talk about... Yeah, they're all three. The Horde, Glass, and David, they all have criminal elements to them. They're different levels, but they are all criminals. But who is the villain of the movie? It's Dr. Ellie Staple. She is killing people in this movie. In this movie, she is the people killing. She kills the main hero. The main hero is David. That's who's been established in this universe as the hero, right? We see it in Unbreakable. We see it in Split. Right? The scene after the credits in Split is David's like, I gotta get to work and find this beast. He is the hero. And killed him in cold blood. Secondly, if we are under this impression from my first question about how the police know that they've been keeping tabs on David the entire time and keeping tabs on the Beast the entire time, and we're waiting for them to get together, that means these criminals, this organization, is willing to allow people to die in order to catch them both together. Villain, villain, villain. Glass, who is is seen as the mastermind villain. And this goes back to the first movie, where we get described what the mastermind villain is. The mastermind villain is, I quote, the real threat. They're brilliant and the evil arch enemy who fights the hero with their mind. Who does that sound in this movie? Glass or the Doctor?
Yeah, sure. It's the
Doctor. She's convincing our hero that he's not really a superhero. Convincing with your mind. That brilliant, evil arch enemy who fight heroes with their mind. That's exactly what Staples doing in this movie. Fighting the hero with the mind. You know who's not fighting David with his mind? Glass. Who's helping David show the world what...
I think he's more using David.
Doesn't matter. To protect people. Because this organization, which he knows about, because in his email he sends everyone, there's a clip of him speaking where he talks about this organization that's hunting down people that are different. Mutants, metas, whatever you want to call them. They're hunting them down. And you know what? By showing the world, he's protecting the next generation of heroes from getting killed. I don't care if it's selfish. It doesn't matter. He's saving people.
Totally
he's protecting
matters
people.
If it's selfish.
How is it selfish? He dies in the end. He dies so everyone else.
So he can have his dream of.
Are people
superheroes? The whole first Unbreakable, his whole obsession is.
But take away the first Unbreakable. This is a different movie.
But it's based in the same universe.
But does it?
Right?
Wait, whoa! But why is it okay Why is it okay for you? You just told me when I talked about David and his thing that people change. Why can't Glass have changed? We gotta go by this movie. What we know, we can't use.
He's been sedated the whole time.
He hasn't been sedated the whole time.
And the reason he has no reason to change. David has a
true or false. True or false.
Change.
People are protected by this action. True
or
false?
Say protected.
So you're telling me that people now are aware of this organization. The next person that comes with heroes is going to be killed right away.
They're not going to get killed right away.
Because of why?
Because now they're aware.
Because of
protection
by
Glass.
So what do heroes do? What is the job of a hero to do to people?
I wouldn't.
He's not a pure hero. I'm not saying that he is that Glass is a pure hero, but there is no doubt that the actions are heroic. He sacrifices himself and saves the next generation. That is heroic. By doing that, you've changed the fundamental character of Glass. It is an unparalleled flaw that this movie cannot recover from. He's supposed to be the mastermind. That's the whole idea. He's supposed to be playing with David's mind. The twist should have been that Elijah was in on it the entire time. That Elijah wasn't actually in the mental institution. He was running the mental institution. That's what a mastermind does.
So you should have been the guy killing these heroes?
Yes! Because guess what arch villains do?
They kill heroes.
They kill heroes!
Well, not every
Who killed David?
The Black Clover team.
Who did not kill David?
Glass.
Oh, would you look at that?
Yeah, but there's lots of villains that don't kill.
True or false? Did Glass want... True or false? Did Glass want David dead?
No.
Oh, that doesn't sound like a villain to me. Did Glass want anyone dead?
Well, yeah, he killed that one guy.
That was a member of the Black Clover. I'm assuming everyone working with those people are glad. That is a fair assumption.
Because he was there before that Black Clover gang. So the Black
Clover gang has been there for the entire time watching it. Otherwise, Elijah would have. How else would they know to sedate him? Of course, they were there the entire time.
I thought they sedated him because he went out and went crazy and changed the. He tried to escape when he saw the schematics from that plumber or something. Exactly, right? And that's when this guy came around. Part of the Black.
the Black Clover organization has to know everything about Glass. So this guy had to know everything about him and the dangers of him. Therefore, he must have known. It's a very fair assumption. Is that okay? Whether or not it is it a fair assumption to say that he was a member?
Probably not, because every other member had.
They
deliberately showed the tattoo.
But we didn't. His hand was covered the entire time. That's not fair. It's not like we saw his hand and it wasn't there.
I mean, if there was a subtle hint of seeing that, I would give it to him for sure. You can assume that, but you can't.
I'm sorry, but
now
I think you're just trying to be difficult here.
I'm not being difficult. It's an assumption, right? Because like we didn't see her hand until we saw that she had the tattoo.
Yeah, because she had it covered the entire time. But it's irrelevant. I think it's irrelevant whether or not the two people had it. The only people Glass wanted dead in the movie are the Black Clover organization people. That's it. That's the truth of the movie. You can lie to our audience all you want, but that's the simple truth of the movie.
I'm not lying to the audience.
Am I wrong in my statement? The only people that Glass wanted dead in this movie were the Black.
Okay, in this movie, fair enough.
So in this movie, everything that we've talked about, Glass is the hero. He's not villainous.
I wouldn't say he's the
hero.
So
what does he do that's villainous in this movie?
He literally just murdered somebody.
But let's say I'm right for argument's sake, and he's a member of that organization. Is it okay? Heroes kill. We gotta be very careful. I mean, Captain America and the Avengers killed a lot of the army, the Chitauri army, and the Avengers. So let's be very careful when we talk about killing.
Fair enough.
So if I am correct, which I don't think is a huge stretch, if I am correct, what does he do that's villainous?
Well, I'd say heroes kill, but not like cold. But you don't. What hero slits somebody's throat? It's
irrelevant. He's made of glass. If he can't fight him, if he punches him in the face, he's gonna break his hand.
You could just sedate him or something.
How? What's he gonna sedate him with?
He's a mastermind. He could think of a way to do it.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Come on.
Therefore, he's not. You're just making my point that he's not a mastermind in this movie. He is.
I'm just saying he's not a mastermind. He's super intelligent.
Let's reform my statement. He's the anti-hero. Then he's a Deadpool.
Okay, fine, anti-hero.
Fine, but so he's still the word hero in the title, still making me right that he is not a villain in this movie. He is the anti-hero. He will do bad things in order to be heroic. Therefore, still making the Black Clover hand, this entire conversation, me still being right at the end of the day that he is the hero of the movie. Because Deadpool is damn sure the hero of the Deadpool movies. And he is an anti-hero, but we're going to call him a hero. So you can't pick and choose when you want to call someone a hero.
Fair enough.
Sorry, I'm just going to deep breath.
Someone's a little...
Because this movie wrecks a great movie. You know what I gave Unbreakable if you watched it last week. I gave it a 9.5.
It's more you have a bias for Unbreakable, and that's why you hate the movie more.
I proved my point to you that Glass is the hero. It's over. Yeah, you flat out admitted that I was right about this. So we're done.
Even then,
now, so this leads me to some questions. All right, you were beaten. All right,
okay, fine.
10 rounds. Told you I was going to take this one. Yeah, all that training. You better go back to some more training.
The way you talk about it, it's like I rated the movie an 8, but you know I didn't rate the movie.
Well, we're gonna find out what you rated in a moment. But I got some questions still. Still got some questions. So here's now let's talk about. I talked about why the plot I didn't like. I talked about Glass. I talked about a couple things, but I want to talk about other aspects that just mind-boggling. And be weary. Some of this might be nitpicking, but it needs to be talked about. So why didn't the Black Clover Society kill them from the start?
Because they're trying to do a more humane way.
Okay, fine. I'm with you.
Them they're not
I am 100% on your side that they're trying to convince the Horde and they're trying to convince David that they are not heroes. But what about Elijah? He's sedated, number one. How can they convince someone who's sedated that they're not actually a hero? And number two, and perhaps more importantly, Elijah's been there for 19 years. Why did they try to do this 19 years earlier? Or when they tried to escape and they started sedating him? He was clearly too smart to work this on. It makes no sense. M. Night Shyamalan has not taken in consideration this gap in time. If this was made a year later, Okay, now I'm a believer, or even like 3 weeks later, or 4 weeks later, or 4 months later, I'm a little bit more of a believer. But 19 years, Elijah should have been dead, or at least the machine should have been worked on him.
Yeah. True.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Next question. And we've addressed this, but I think it needs to be talking again. Why would David Dunn ever even slightly believe that his superpowers are in his mind? It's been 19 years. Again, Shyamalan is not considering this huge time gap. He actually begins to believe it.
Well, David Dunn doesn't seem to be like the brightest guy in that. I'm just saying.
But you're telling me that come on. This is brutal. This is beyond poor writing. This isn't even disbelief. This is just like, what the hell am I watching? No?
What? I just felt, I was like, whatever.
All right. And this is another question for you. Why would the audience ever believe that these superpowers were in the character's mind? Because that's kind of the thing, right? In order to buy into this twist,
the audience
has to believe. But the whole point of Unbreakable and Split was to show that characters actually had these powers. That was the whole point of the movie. Again, you're contradicting the theme of the first two movies. This isn't about me liking Unbreakable better. This is just simply going against the script they wrote in Unbreakable. Why? It made the fact that Ellie was in on something bigger right off the bat obvious. The twist to me was there wasn't even a twist. Okay, maybe that they were a Black Clover Society. I didn't know that aspect to it. But there is no doubt in my mind that Ellie Staple knew that these characters had superpowers. The first line, her first line in the movie is, "I know you're strong, but how much collateral damage do you want to do?" That line in itself destroys your twist. Why doesn't the Horde know that Glass killed his father? It makes no sense.
Wait, why would they know?
Well, Kevin was on the platform when the train left. You think he didn't know that the train got into a car accident? Or, sorry, train accident? And you don't think that it was national news that Glass was the guy who did it?
Well, that's true.
So why wouldn't he know? And the Horde has all of Kevin's memories. Why wouldn't they know that Glass killed the dad? Why did it take Joseph telling him? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, we do realize that he does hang out in secluded areas.
It doesn't.
See a TV or
that might be true in the last 5 years, but what about the first 5 years?
The first, when did
he doesn't turn into, he doesn't, it's not right away that he turns into the Horde. He's Kevin for a while, right? His mother abuses him. That's his backstory. After the dad died. So clearly he knows his dad died. Clearly he knows he died in a train accident. And clearly he knows that Glass is responsible. So how in the hell is this a surprise in the movie? For the audience, absolutely. No doubt. Mm-hmm. We didn't know that. We wouldn't know that. But how in any name that makes sense in movies does Kevin not know?
Maybe he doesn't believe in the news. I don't know.
Okay. Also, Joseph is the one who finds this information out first, and Glass does as well. Fair enough. Whatever. And if Joseph finds out fairly easy, it even makes more sense that how does Kevin not know? But he's so excited for this information. I don't understand why he's excited about this information. He doesn't know that the Horde is working with Glass at this point. Why does he care? Why is it such important information that Joseph finds out, oh my God, Kevin's dad was on the same train as my dad. This information is going to break the movie. It's just a poor piece of writing by Shyamalan that doesn't make any sense into this movie. Ellie holds out her hand to David. So just before David dies, he gets to see the whole thing. Everything that's going on. And now the way this power works is when David touches someone, he sees their sins, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole premise from Unbreakable. And in this movie Glass, he touches someone, he sees their sins.
Yeah.
So when he touches Staple, all he sees is a room. What sin is he seeing?
That's not the same thing.
This is the whole point of this minor psychic ability, is to see the sin.
Well, he saw glut.
What is he supposed to take out of it? What is the audience supposed to take out of it? Oh, you're dead now. This is their sin? What is David supposed to take from this before he dies? It's supposed to be the whole twist for the audience, but it's like, but that's not how his power works.
Maybe he forgot how the power worked. Maybe he's
now you're just stretching here. Like at this point, you just got to jump off your bandwagon and jump onto my
bandwagon. It has to be a bandwagon when the movie's like an 8 and above. I don't love this.
Here's another question for you: why would people care about this footage that's been released?
What, for superheroes? Or like
yeah, why would people care? Like if I saw that video, I'd be like, it's doctored somehow. Like why are we believing this?
Well, we don't know if they believe it or not. We just see them go.
I know, but it doesn't I don't understand whatever.
This is special effect. Oh, so technically he's not the hero because technically it doesn't work.
Oh, please.
Oh, so you lost the argument. I've won. There you go. Thank you. You can't have that. Oh, it's over.
Okay.
I'm the champion.
Last thing I want to talk about before I feel like I've done a good job ripping this movie to shreds. But one last thing I want to talk about is what did you think of the fact that David Dunn was drowned in a pool of water or a puddle of water by the police? What are your thoughts on it? Honest thoughts.
I don't care about David Dunn, so I thought it was pretty funny.
I just think it's a waste of a character. This is what bad sequels do. They destroy the characters that they've built. And M. Night Shyamalan should be ashamed of himself for making this movie and ruining Unbreakable. He should be. He definitely didn't spend. And I'm not trying to say that M. Night Shyamalan is a horrible director. I really like M. Night Shyamalan. I loved Unbreakable. I think as I said last week, it was better watching it a week ago than it was when it first came out. Sixth Sense. I like The Village. I like The Happening, even though most people don't. But this is worse than The Last Airbender. This is his absolute worst movie that he has ever directed. Should be ashamed.
No, it's still The Last Airbender.
What ranking are you giving this out of 10?
I'm gonna give it a 5.
A 5.
Well, what's so bad about a 5? It's a
pass. You passed this movie. It has passed. Give me. What are your positives? I have nothing. I can give you one positive.
Positive is James McAvoy.
That is my 3. I'm giving this movie a 3. 1 because of James McAvoy. 2 because of James McAvoy, and 3 because of James McAvoy. The only thing worth watching in this movie if you're going to go see it. In fact, do yourself a favor. Find someone on YouTube that has the ability. Get this movie. Just put every scene with James McAvoy in the movie and just watch James McAvoy, because that's all you need to do in this movie, because nothing else is worth watching. Not one plot point, not one character, not one joke, nothing. There's not one good thing about this movie except for him.
I like that they brought back the son, and I also like that they killed David Dunn, because it's pretty funny.
I just want to let everyone know that feel free on anything to criticize me if you disagree with me, which I don't think you will. I really think you're going to be on my side on this one if you've seen the movie. But please, hate mail to Xavier for passing a movie that might be the worst movie of the. This movie is horrible. The more I'm thinking about it, I'm you know what? I'm changing it right now. 2 out of 10. Unwatchable.
There you go.
2 out of 10.
Oh, so would you rather watch this or Bumblebee?
Bumblebee.
Ooh, okay.
Bumblebee. I would rather watch Bumblebee again, because you know what? At least Bumblebee, first 5 minutes are good.
15. First 15 minutes.
Your joke was the first 5 minutes. That's the joke we've been going with that movie.
15.
You can't change the joke.
I said 15. Roll the tape. It's 15. I said it.
And the answer? Right now, Batman versus Superman.
Wow. I think you're just on a hate train.
Well, Batman and Superman has some action sequences that are interesting, at least.
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be close. That'd be the top. It might be my bottom. At the end of this year, we're gonna look at our bottom 10 movies of the decade. I bet you Glass will be on my list.
Yeah, obviously. It's a Glass.
So 5 out of 10 for you?
Yeah, I wasn't that passionate about it, and I wasn't intensely looking at it as much as you were.
But after all this conversation, you're still not changing it any lower.
No.
Wow. I've lost a little. I'm not gonna lie, a little respect lost for this rating. I'm a little. Normally, I don't care. Like, you know, to each their own. But like, I don't feel like you've got positives to say about this movie to pass it. At least give it a 4.5. At least fail at a 4.5.
Like, what's it called? My thing is, I liked it because like the bad. When I have a movie that has like bad writing, it's just funny to me. So I just think it's funny. So I give it a pass.
Or at least that's a logical thing. That's the first time you said that, though. Just saying.
Oh, someone's just taking shots at me.
No, I said that's the first time you said it. That's a good reason to like it. I said I'm just saying you never said that before. If you had at least said it was horrible, but it was so bad I enjoyed it, I would have accepted that. At least that's a positive thing to say about it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad.
All right, enough about Glass. The atrocities that was Glass.
Come on, like it was. You didn't think it was funny that like the main guy, Unbreakable, they just drowned him in a little pool?
No, that's his weakness.
In the little pool of water. It's not even like a big puddle. It's just like this small like pothole. This guy that's been saving people for 19 years, dead in a pothole.
How would you like it if Spider-Man died that way?
He would never die.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, moving on to that.
They
That's
did
it.
Kill his character, and I got pissed off.
Oh, there it is. Especially if he dies in a stupid way like that, it's just a disgrace to good characters.
Died in a worse way, to be honest, but that's a long story.
Okay. Anyways, that's it for the new movies that came out this week. My recommendation is avoid Glass like the plague. Go see The Upside.